We are here in Montgomery, Alabama for a convening where we're first taking a moment of pause together as a group of influential investors and individuals.
First and foremost, the work at Illumen Capital is really at the intersection of the financial markets and racial equity. And so this journey to Montgomery gave me personally an experience to really kind of ground myself in the legacy of slavery and really kind of see the through line from slavery to the period after Reconstruction and the racial terror that happened in this country.
My full name is John Lee Gaston White, and I am a son of the South. And I believe wholeheartedly in the work and the struggle of my ancestors.
Bringing people together is one of the most important things that we can do, especially in this moment. Having open and honest dialogue and really confronting not only the ignorance, but also the lies that have been told about what's going on in this country.
I'm an impact investor. I use the economy and culture to build a more just and joyful society. I saw at the memorial the pillar from Pike County, Mississippi, which is where my family is from. And I saw the names of the several people who were lynched there. And it both brought home the gravity that I already knew, but it's presented and reminded in a different way when you see it as part of a larger memorial exhibit. I really hope that over time, in a short time, that more people flock to this place and start to discover our history, because it's an important part of who we are as an American people.
This experience will impact my work by allowing me to understand where my biases and my blind spots are on my own personal development. What I would like to do as a result of this training is go back to my institution and really think critically about how we're operating and looking at investment opportunities and making sure that we are building an organization that's inclusive of everyone in the U.S.
My name is Clint Korver. I'm the co-founder and managing director at Ulu Ventures. We're a seed stage venture firm focused in Palo Alto, and one of our investment theses is what we call diversity, with the idea being that diversity is a social good, sure, but it's also our thesis on how we're going to generate superior returns in venture.
So at Illumen, we believe that the asset allocation of capital is really tied to history, and Montgomery, Alabama is a critical portion of U.S. history.
So many of us maybe don't see it, and being able to hold that and understand that and not embrace it, but figure out how you can make it better.
I think pipeline is really, really important. Like, how do you create a diverse pipeline? Who are the people that you're talking to build the network, to make sure that you're seeing all the right entrepreneurs in the room, to make sure that you're giving them the right opportunity. The second thing that came up from today's conversation was just, I've been thinking about it a lot, is this idea of incentives and shifting incentives. Like, if somebody right now is fighting for basic necessities and does not have the job and the experience, how do you account for that in their job experience when they're applying for something or when they're starting a company? And I think those are the two things that I've been thinking about most in this context, which is both pipeline and incentives, to make sure that we're seeing everyone and giving people a fair shot.
I think that if we look at some of the progress that has been made, obviously we've made tremendous political progress with being able to elect African American president, but we haven't made that same progress in narrowing those gaps on racial, social, and economic inequalities.
The legacy of racism and how it has impacted negatively the kids that we are trying to change the trajectory for. But mostly, I was really intrigued to come because I grew up in a family where my father, as an everyday kind of guy, did in his work every day try to bust racism in this country.
I'm really fascinated with the civil rights history that runs in the soil of Montgomery, and so I was very excited for the opportunity to kind of blend personal and professional passions in a trip in Montgomery. It's been a really incredible 2 days.
One of the things that really struck me about this impact experience and the museum, the memorial, just being here in Montgomery, Alabama, and hearing people reference the museum as the lynching museum was a real visceral understanding of the terror involved in maintaining the system of slavery.
This experience, this is my second time at the impact experience. However, this is different because here we've come to Montgomery and we're able to not just talk about it, but also experience in real time what happened here several decades ago.
Well, given that I'm an impact investor toward decarceration, we have to acknowledge, of course, that mass incarceration was grandfathered in by slavery. And so coming to Montgomery is really coming to the epicenter of slavery.
When we look carefully at this history, and as so many before us have sang the words, "We shall overcome," our group seeks to create the interventions, the innovations that take on the "we shall overcome" of the asset management business and move this number from where it currently sits at 1.3% to more than $35 trillion in firms managed by women and people of color led and owned firms.
One of the things that consistently inspires me about bringing these groups together with Impact Experience in Montgomery is how people bring their full selves to the experience. So this doesn't just become an experience where people come and they're inspired and then they go home, but actually people are really reflecting on what are the commitments that they want to make, what are the decisions that they're going to make differently as a result of having gone through this experience together. And so it's really encouraging to me that it can be so easy when we look at so many of the challenges in the world and the challenges within investing and fund allocation to become saddened by the state of affairs. But being with these groups here in Montgomery becomes a huge recharge for me and for our work to really feel like there is hope and there are reasons to be hopeful. So feel so grateful for our team and for our community and for the people that keep coming back with us here in Montgomery as part of a lifelong journey.